Hi everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're live and hi Nick, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Sounding better than you are though, Marie.
I've just been doing a little bit of clearing, I think. I've had a bit of a
Mhm.
fever and been dizzy. So I know it's, light body symptoms, things are clearing. So I've just been resting as much as I can. So, which has been really nice. So in between, working out work things. So it's all good. But and it's so cute because if I'm like this, my cat just comes and just lays on me. Just the whole time he's just laying on me. So
I love how animals can make you feel better.
and they just he purrs, and I know that's such a healing thing to have them purring on you.
Exactly.
So
Well,
yeah, it's
the good
beautiful.
thing about a fever is you usually get some weird dreams.
Oh, my dreams. Oh, guys, I was just saying this before to Nick. My dreams, every single dream I have is lucid. I know I'm in a dream and I know what's going on. And I'm actually doing things. The other morning, the crows were going ballistic and I was still like asleep, but I could hear them. And they'd been really noisy for like, 2 days anyway. And so I was just coming out of my dream and I just sent them a message and I went, be quiet. They stopped like that.
Mm,
And they
mm.
hardly said a squawk all day. It's so powerful in our
Yeah.
dreams, Dave,
Oh, totally, totally.
telepathically. It was just
Mm.
crazy. So, hi, who have we got on? We've got Lady Hawk, we've got Marie on. Thanks for all your dreams, Marie.
Oh,
Kathleen.
look, Dennis is on as well. Hi, Dennis. Hi,
Oh,
Kathleen, Marie. Everyone's coming on. Fantastic. Good to see you all. Thanks for spending the time with us.
exactly. And Kathleen, I got your dreams too. So, but yeah, so it's been quite incredible, like very lucid dreaming. It's almost like I'm not, it's like there's no difference between being awake and being asleep per se, is how
Yeah,
I'm feeling. So,
yeah,
what
exactly.
about you, Nick? Because the title, as we were just talking about before we started, is about the future, and I think Dave gave me that idea. So, of course, you took it and ran with it as usual. So,
Mm.
do you want to just talk about, what came through for you?
Yeah, after setting my intention, the very first night I did it, I got some really good information, and then I sort of every now and then when I remembered during that I'd wake up early in the middle of the night or something, I'd try to remember to do something to do with my future again to see if I got any more information. And as usual, I never get what I think I'm going to get. I get exactly what I need to get, and once again I feel this is a message for everybody.
Yep.
And I was just getting these future downloads of basically how we're creating the life of our dreams. And within the dream, funny enough, is that so I first of all got and I brought this to show you, I got one of these in my dream, a cluster of crystals and lots of them. And straight away, when I got that cluster, my knowing came in and said that this is basically our crystalline bodies. So that
Beautiful.
we're shaping and forming differences in our bodies, and this crystalline ability will change our frequencies. And as I was doing that, I got this word. The word
Can you,
frequency just
sorry,
came really. Oh,
can you
sorry.
just hold that up again so everyone can see it higher? Oh, you know what I have to do? This is why. That'll make a
Oh,
difference
that's
then.
it. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, beautiful.
And so with that, I was thinking, what do crystals represent? And then I got the word in my dream, frequency. And I thought, yes, because frequency is all about our energy and how we're using our energy and frequencies to create what we want in the future. And being clear quartz, especially to me, it's so open what it could be. I also got this, when you see a video and you see where you can click down and you can go subtitles and have all languages. I don't know. I saw this list of languages, but I noticed that the subtitles were switched off. And in other words, our communication is going to change. We're not going to have to rely on understanding different languages and interpreting them all with subtitles. And maybe that's where our telepathy might step in, that knowingness. Yeah, exactly. I love that one. I thought that was a really clever one. So all about the way we communicate. And then I saw a house that was being decluttered. Like these were all series, just one after the other of just images. Beautiful. And the house was being decluttered. Mess was being taken away. And then I thought, well, that's creating space for us to create the new. So the future is what we create. And then I also, I really love this one. That I was images of people that don't come to my dreams normally, but what does that really mean? And they were older women that I know, not old, but just older, maybe in their 60s, and they were leaning up against walls, and they had these beautiful model bodies that you'd have, early on in your life when you don't realize how great your body really is.
I know, you worry about a pound when you're actually stunning.
Yeah, exactly. And healthy. And I was like, wow, I must tell them how good they look. And then, so that to me was about our health, and whether or not you believe in age regression or whatever, but I feel that we can undo what's been done. We have that capacity and ability within us to do it, whether we need an external source to do it or we can do it ourselves. I truly believe we can do it ourselves. Yeah. And then I saw the tiled path, which was shiny, bright tiles along a straight path. So I knew that everything was going to be even and comfortable and smooth along the way, except what we were doing is, even though we could see the path, we were the ones laying the tiles down in order to walk along that path to get to it. And so each tile represents a different aspect. So basically it was all the possibilities that we could be doing. And we're doing them now. We're actually creating it now. So the future is actually now.
I love it. So it's quite amazing. So you're talking about the things that came to you are things we've been discussing, and many people now are talking about this age regression. And like you said, do we need to have something external like a med bed or something like that to help us? Or are we actually, with our new crystalline body, which was perfect, how that came up first, are we going to have more knowing and remembering of our frequency that we can actually do that ourselves? Yes. Once we've actually been removed, that house decluttering, once we've had everything removed, all the indoctrination, all the lies about age and that sort of thing, I think that is definitely a huge part. And then that beautiful path, we are creating it with our thoughts, with our feelings. We are creating it. So it's amazing. So you got all of that just from your intention.
I really haven't had any other dreams to do with it. It's just, I just feel that it's about putting faith in our knowingness that we already know what we're doing, and trying to block out all the other stuff, all that noise that's coming in at the moment, which isn't particularly easy, I can say, because when you're surrounded by that in your environment, it's it takes training to block it out.
Yeah, it does. And, I don't know, I feel this is a tricky time in life. It just feels like there's still this no man's land almost, like you create for yourself and you do everything that you can for you. But I'm just going, for me personally, I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but I'm just going to be honest. I just go, like, I feel like I've ticked every box already. It's like, come on, what else is there? I know it sounds crazy, but it's like, I want more now. I want more. I want to have more choices now than what we've had on this planet, for this time. I just feel like there's something has to give. So I don't know, but that's just how I'm feeling. So how's everyone else feeling? So I'm, and I keep thinking of that movie, Stella Got a Groove Back, and I'm going, maybe I need to, whatever she did, maybe I need to do that. But there's a depth missing with what's available at the moment. So I'd love to know how everyone else is going. And but thanks so much for sharing that. That's so cool. And the fact it was for everyone, not just for you. That's huge. So okay, let me just, because I wanted to, hang on a minute. I'm going to mute occasionally.
Yes, I noticed there that Kathleen said yes. She says, yes, I feel like I'm in limbo right now.
Oh, thank God. Oh, Kathleen's right. We can hang in limbo together. She's going, what is wrong with me? I've always been so, I want to do this, I want to experience that. And I'm just going, nah. So there you go. There's my honesty about this world at the moment with where I'm at. So, I'm very blessed, of course, but
I do feel we have to remember that patience is the key for us. It's something we have to learn. But if we can encourage everybody to be on that same trajectory, then patients were replaced with what we are actually planning for.
Yeah, no, it's actually true. I just got the hit to do some cards on that, so I'm actually going to do some cards because Marie said the same thing as well down there. So let's just do some cards on where we're at. You know,
yeah, good idea.
Dream is now a lucid dream, so I don't escape anything. It's always like everything's just happening all the time. I'm conscious all the time. So let's see if there's, yeah. Your dreams and pictures were really, really cool. Okay. Yeah, we've got our 5 of Cups. So this is almost a grief of the things that have changed for us, but there's still 2 cups standing. So that you're right. I think we have to remember there's still beautiful, good things emotionally that are available to us. And I'm just going to pull this one out. The Chariot. So those 2 cups are usually around balance. And with the Chariot, once we've found that balance, that's when our movement goes forward. So you're hot as well. So you're 8 of Cups. So I feel we're walking away from a lot. We've left behind a lot. Well, literally everything that we've probably ever known at some level. So this is not a little trip, and it's not a trip for the faint-hearted. So yeah, but look, I just think I don't know. I just think, like you say, we just have to have that beautiful patience and just stay in each moment, which is what I've been doing. But it's like, oh, I just love that little bit of enthusiasm to come through, or, you know.
Look, it's in our DNA. We can't remove it overnight. You know, it's like, you know, I laughed when you pulled out that Chariot, you know, the 2 lions at the front.
Yes.
There, the black and the white. And that's sort of how I'm feeling right now. It's like I'm trying to get this balance back all the time. It's just like, where am I sitting with it? You know, the known, the unknown, the known, the unknown. And ultimately, it's about being present and being in the now, which will bring us what we need.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, it's just been interesting. So, but on that theme of the future, I've got some fantastic dreams today. Thank you, everyone that sent in dreams, and we will get through them. I just wanted to look at Dave's, because Dave was the one that gave me the little idea around doing the future thing. Let me just find it. Okay, here we go. Dave, there we go.
Oh, hi, Dave. Last night I woke myself up with my own laughter. Love that. In my dream, I was watching a YouTube video of Joey Diaz, a stand-up comedian, about him farting and his underwear was moving with the wind. Anyway, it set the mood for my whole Monday. Couldn't stop smiling. Dreams that show the future. I get these 1 or 2 times a year, just standard situations, talking to someone or doing my work. For example, last year I dreamt about being at work, and in the dream, I was saying, now I'm going to change the future, and did some weird arm moves. A couple of weeks or months later, I was in the same position doing the job in my dream, and I said, oh, it was in my, sorry, I missed that bit. It was in my dream. Now I'm going to change the future. And did the same weird arm movements. So some things you can't change in the future. And the strange thing is that this year I already had 3 or 4 future dreams that happened.
Interesting, isn't it?
So the predictive ones.
Yeah, so just the fact that you've even increased that amount, Dave, because you've been focusing more on your dreams as well, which is exactly what happens. You know, then we do have, that starts to ramp up. It's like anything you put your attention onto, you start to get more of it. So that's really amazing. And it doesn't have to be world breaking, you know, dreams every time. I think for me as well, it does give me the clarification when it's something that can be quite small within my daily life. And like last night, I was on the phone because I've been trying to organize this work situation, and I was on the phone. And then we spoke for a little bit. Then it was silent for a minute. And I went, oh, okay, it still hasn't been fixed up in real life. So I just hung up. But I knew I was actually working it out. And then this morning it was like, no, it hasn't been fixed. And then within about an hour it was fixed. But it was like, I just knew. I went, okay. So I was just driving around doing all the work while I was waiting for it to get fixed. So exactly. So when it happens in our real life in small moments, I think that gives us more clarity about,
Yeah,
yeah, okay, I'm not crazy. This
yeah,
stuff actually happens.
yeah.
So
I
yeah,
think it's to show us, get closer to the actual truth of what's happening, as opposed to just having a crazy dream, trying to interpret it and then leave it in that box and then continue on with real life. It's actually showing us that everything's intertwined. And it's those really small little synchronicities or sort of unusual things that bleed into our real life that make us actually stand up and think there is something going on here. There definitely
definitely.
is. Mm.
Yeah. So no, that's great. But so Layla has beautiful Layla has sent us in a dream. So I shall pop that up.
Oh, hi,
Jasper,
Layla.
hang on, I better grab
Yeah,
Jasper.
where's that?
Lordy, how rude. How rude. There he is. Sorry,
Oh.
Jasmine. Okay. So
Okay, Layla has said, I have some strange dreams. Most of them fade away, but this one is almost embarrassing for me to tell.
okay.
In the dream, I was in a setting or hotel, and Tom Cruise went in front of me at the door, and he just stopped and stared and was completely out of it. He insisted to have me at his side and would not let me out of his sight. Very emotional from him and quite strange experience from me while in the dream. But my world when I woke up, I have no movie star hang-ups whatsoever, and least of all him. It's embarrassing, but it was so real that if I was there, by the way, he has been in Norway filming, but I didn't know at the time. Isn't that
Wow.
interesting? You know,
That
that last bit in itself is just what we were saying. It's
connection in and knowing.
yeah.
And remember, I think it was Zan. She was the one that always sort of made me aware that when we have someone famous in our dream, they
Mm.
can actually be acting as a guide or giving us, showing us that there's something to take note of, Lila.
Mm.
That's not embarrassing at all.
No,
Um,
no,
Not at
no.
all. I think,
Mm.
I think, and the fact that he's so well known, a lot of people focus on these people that have been put in these well known situations. So there's a lot of energy around them. So, so yeah, so look, I think that's amazing. I think you're connecting in.
Mhm.
What do you reckon, Nick?
Yeah, and I'm with you with, at first I would have said, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed to say it. I had a dream about such and such," and, I was like, the last thing I wanna do is let somebody know I'll put them on a pedestal or whatever, but then, like you said, I learnt too that those people were there as guides for me, um, and there might be something that that I admire about them, but they're actually there to help show me something. The fact that also, you said he was in front of me at the door. The doorway is an entrance into something happening. When you go through a doorway, you're normally going through to get a new experience, or one's about to happen for you. So the fact that you've had this dream and you've remembered it is brilliant. Actually, it really is.
Yeah,
I've had a handful of famous people in my dreams, and they are very famous people. Um, if it was just no one in particular, maybe it wouldn't point to the reason you're having that dream as much. You might dismiss it. But the fact you've remembered it, you've been given a very clear message.
absolutely. And we've got to love our Betty Bethard's book, the Dream Book. So I just thought I'll look up hotel. I knew sort of what it meant, but it's a large potential for growth. If magnificent, you are rich in spirit and using your many talents. So if it was a setting or a hotel, which I'm going to presume it was nice, because if Tom Cruise was there, you would think that would be an upmarket one. But if it wasn't, if seedy, need to work on self and clean up your act, and if run down, you are not using your potential. So, Layla, I know it's really late for you, so you obviously can't be on here live, but so I'm going to presume it was a nice hotel, so that you are using your potential. The fact that he was emotional as well, um, yeah, and quite a strange experience. The fact that he was emotional, so there's a heart. I feel there's this heart, maybe a heart shift happening for you, or there's some sort of opening up happening for you as well, and
Mm.
it's been reflected back through that image of him as your guide. Yeah. So no, I think you're connecting into that energy. You know, just, again, a little bit more of that lucid dreaming too coming through.
And, you know, I've never looked this up, and it must just made me think about it to see if actor was in the book, and it is.
Okay, what does it say?
The role you play and how you see others, a role you are playing at the moment, which is serving some particular purpose. We are all actors, roles, and life experiences are illusion. Our presentation of self changes as we grow. Our roles change with expanding awareness and self-knowledge. And I think that last bit was very particular for you. That self-awareness, is it, you're expanding that for sure.
That's amazing. So well done. I didn't think of looking that up. So
No, neither did I until now.
That's really good. So if anyone else has on, that's on live, has got any ideas there for Layla, or if anything's jumped into your mind, let me know. So because it's always nice to get different perspectives for people, but it's quite a clear, clean dream as well.
Yeah.
So, okay. So let me just jump into Marie's dream, not me. It's
Okay, Marie's experience before sleep. I kept hearing voices in my ear again. So as I was falling asleep, I asked what I would like to hear, what was being said, or that what I'd like to hear what was being said. It got clear enough that I could hear what sounded like a radio and TV advertisement, but not clear enough to understand. It was almost like I was listening to this coming from someone else's reality. Then later, so many images came through that I couldn't remember. But again, there was a very large snake sliding by in front of me, right to left. Again, not afraid of it, but it was a very long black snake. This one had red diamonds.
Wow. And, it's fascinating, but it's interesting because, Marie, when I was working my way through what I call the astral plane, or it's part of the fourth dimension, it took me quite a while. This was years ago. This is probably 18, 20 years ago. I remember as I was going to sleep, I would it's like someone was having a telephone call through me to someone else. And it was like I could listen to this telephone call and I was hearing what was going on, or then I'd catch another, like a loudspeaker was out there. And so it was like I was in the middle of this world it wasn't my world. So my gut feeling is that this is the astral plane that you're tapping into. And we can hear stuff. And what I do before I go to sleep now, I've got it to a point now where I can bypass the astral plane so that I actually go into higher realms straight away through my sleep, because I didn't particularly like it, to be honest. It was like, oh no, this is a bit distorted. I don't know how you feel about it, Marie, but let us know. So, Nick, do you want to comment on that?
The first part was interesting that you said, because if I'm hearing, anything, when I hear, if the word comes up, TV, radio, to me, I think it's got to be some form of communication. In this case, it's not always for us. It's just, as I say, the noise that's out there. It's like going into a busy city and just getting frustrated because it's too noisy, and you need to go home and just be in your own space sometimes. Yeah. And the fact that then we've moved and shifted across to the snake sort of indicates that, because for me, the snake is about moving the energy through your different energy fields in your body, different centers, and those energy centers may need some attention. And the fact that you said there was red in the snake as well, which is down at the root chakra, that lower one. And I do feel we're having a lot of attention drawn to that at the moment. It seems to be coming up again, just when we think we're all up the high end. No, we're being directed, because there really isn't an end and a beginning. It's just that we refer to that as the first chakra. It could actually be the last one, because I sort of feel like they just loop around anyway. So that's attention that needs to perhaps be going down to that section. The red diamonds, that colour, the diamond itself has many facets to it, so they could be facets of yourself. So if you look at what's red represent in our chakra system, if you want to do some research more into that, and you might start to realise there's something in the work you need to be doing, or maybe just putting attention and energy on that space, to help build it back up again, to give it some strength.
Yeah. And grounding something in as well. So right to left, the black snake, the red, to me, that's also grounding something in. So you could be getting this communication, you're tapping into an energy aspect, and it's almost like being able to ground it through. Because ultimately what we want to be able to do is sit in a place where we are completely connected into our consciousness, our divine consciousness, but be able to drop into every aspect of our being from there, and then come back up if we need to experience something or share something. So it's just practicing that, I think, too, without judging it. So I think, I think you're right with that. Yeah, Queen of Wands has just come up for you here on this one, Marie. And this to me is integrity. This is about knowing yourself. It's taking action when it's needed. So this is about you, definitely. Yeah, definitely. The Tower. So there could be a change coming up for you, but I love the Tower card because it means that something positive always comes out of it, because it's cleaning house, literally. So, oh my gosh. And then you get the 9. I love this. The 9 of Pentacles. Very unique, very abundant, being able to express the uniqueness that you are. So don't be surprised if you have a bit of a change happening for you. But then you go, wow, it's almost like you have this epiphany. So that's what the cards are saying. So yeah.
You will certainly be getting out of limbo.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Getting out of limbo. I love it. So Dennis has popped something up.
Red is the root, but Mother Earth is my root, not just the bottom. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right, yeah.
That's it. And Kathleen, oh, hang on, that's another one from Kathleen. Okay, well, actually, I'll put this up because this is really interesting.
15 years ago, I was getting Morse code in my head. It would happen a lot, and for about 2 months. I tried to learn it but couldn't. Finally, I said firmly, this has to stop now, and it never happened again.
I love it.
There was a large Air Force base around 20 miles away, and I felt like I was in the path of the Morse code. Oh, isn't that interesting?
Because we are antennas, and this is what that astral plane is. It's all the collection of that energetic communication. So this is what we tap into there. So Kathleen, thank you. That's actually brilliant that you've shared that with us.
I love that.
Yeah. Of course, we are antennas. That's what we do. So it's a matter of refining that to be tuned into what we want to be tuned into.
True, exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah.
But I love how you said to it, that's enough. I don't want any more. It's like me with crows that morning. It was like, no more. Funny. Okay, so that was Marie's first. I think there's 2 from Marie. Hang on a minute, let me just have a look. Oh, yeah, no, this was really beautiful as well from Marie. So I really wanted to pop this in. And this is actually, it's interesting because with Marie's dream here, there's a bit of a theme that goes through some of the others as well with the white. So I'll get you to start reading that, Nick. It's cool.
Okay, my baby doll, when I was 3, looked like a real baby dressed in white with white lace hat, only saw from the chest up. Then another doll, darker hair with a white dress. Messages from my mother. Oh, she's questioning, are they messages from her? They're surrounded by white animals and felt happy and loved and treasured. Oh,
isn't that beautiful? And the white, I mean, that's purity. Yeah. So, and interesting that because Marie was saying, that was, quite a few years ago when she was 3. And so to me, the fact that, you were seeing yourself as that baby and you even questioned that it was your mother coming through, I would say yes. Yes. Because that was how she sees you, is that beautiful, pure, and sometimes like people can only do the best they can do where they're at. So, but, we all, no matter what, we see babies as purity, don't we? So, yeah. I would say it was a connection in from your mum.
Yeah, like I agree with that. If you get a download that says that, if you get an image or a thought, well, then go with it. Because it takes a bit of energy for them to pop into your dreams, so don't dismiss them. They're definitely there.
Yeah, And it's really beautiful that she used the baby doll that you remembered from when you were 3.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really a mama connecting in with that baby. So yeah, I think that's a really positive dream.
Yeah. I
So
wonder what the other darker doll means for you as well, Marie.
yeah.
This is really a personal thing about your connection with your mother. Is there any meaning in that you see?
Yeah. So Marie, if you're on, just let us know. It was a much longer dream, but I have to, of course, I have to sort of really edit things down. So I might have I might have cut a bit out. So but also Marie had a question. Now, guys, I'd love you guys to all chime in with this one. It's really good to have different perspectives, and it's that synchronicity and with all numbers. So this is Marie's question. Thanks, Nick.
Oh, not dream, but question about numbers and synchronicities. When my husband, Marshall, died, I was 49 years old. His oldest daughter, Laura, died when she was 49 years old. His youngest daughter, Jenny, 3 years younger, died when she was 49 years old.
Isn't this fascinating? I'm really sorry. That's so young, Marie, to lose your partner and your husband.
Yeah.
You know, be interesting to know how old Marshall was, but how interesting that all the females were the 49 years. So I don't know what chopped into my mind. Sometimes we can have almost like a gene activation at a certain age. Yeah, I don't know. What do you reckon, Nick?
Well, it's very hard, hard for me to get past this number because that's our lucky number. It's my lucky number. It's all the way. I've got signs everywhere around in my house because of it. It always has mean to us everything's going according to plan. Yeah. And so I've actually looked up the numbers, and we also get 149 as well. And the other day, I think it was yesterday, we were driving, and the number of 49s that were coming up on number plates was ridiculous, like absolutely ridiculous. It just is constant flow. There's another one, there's another one, there's another one. So for me, it is everything's going according to plan. So perhaps because that was a date that they decided to leave this earth plane, it was part of the plan, and it's showing you that, you know, that was actually decided upon. But, you know, every number has a meaning in itself as well. You can actually look up numbers and it'll give you sort of a bit more guidance. Yeah.
And isn't it interesting that there's that synchronicity between your number and then what Marie was just saying? It's crazy. And Kathleen as well has got some numbers happening here.
What? My husband died at 46, and then my brother-in-law at 46. What? And then my cousin at 46, and then my young brother died at 46. All within a 10-year time span. That is amazing.
You know, it just makes you wonder, doesn't it, as well? I never believed that anything happens without the soul agreeing to it. Yeah. And so, but I mean, I do feel that we can have exit points that are potentials as well. And so sometimes if that subconscious is like, hey, there's an exit point coming up, it could be the right time for me to go. And, you know, so these numbers could be potential exit points for this particular soul group or this particular
definitely
group, because it's just crazy. Wow, Kathleen. Gosh, I'm his young husband.
Yeah, that opens up a whole new realm of understanding, doesn't it? You know,
it really does. It really does. So, and Maria said that her husband Marshall was only 57.
Wow.
So just so young.
Yeah,
so young. But yeah, look. So if anyone else has got any sort of had any sort of synchronicity around timing and just particular ages where someone's left the physical realm, let us know, because this is just crazy. But like I said, there can be potential exit points. But our soul, I never ever doubt that our soul knows exactly when the best time for it to leave this physical body is.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, but it's still, gosh. And then I've actually had, you know, I've had friends or even boyfriends that have gone, oh, my dad died at like 44 and I'm coming up to 44 and I'm just like,
oh
okay.
yes, yeah,
you know, that fear of you know, will like father, like son sort of thing, you know, it's really interesting how that seed also can be planted.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think about that with all my family. I was thinking about that yesterday, and because we've had so much, passing in the last, say, 10 years and a little bit longer, and I'm still dealing with all the paperwork from my mother as well. And it brings up that thing again where you're looking at birth certificates, death certificates, seeing where's this correlation. And then I do sometimes sit and I think, why am I the only one left? And it's like, and then I get this message, no, you have to stay here and do the work.
oh, wow.
Remember?
Yep. So that's amazing. So, hi, Zan's on. So,
oh, hi, Zan. What about famous people at, 27, and then again at 54, because 54 is double 27. Yeah, that's right. The 27 Club, James Dean. There's so many of them, wasn't there?
yeah, well, they do say there was a reason for that, don't they?
Yes.
You know, that it was a special offering to a certain thing. So, yeah, again, interesting, really good pickup. But yeah, it's just amazing. And this is where I think it's so awesome that we can actually share all this, because, you know, and realize that, oh my gosh, other families have this or other people have this. This is not just me. This is not just the crazy world I live in. No, believe me, guys, we all live in crazy world together. So funny.
And remember, we created the crazy world too.
We did create it, and I keep getting reminded of that. It's like, remember, this is your creation, you know.
Yes.
Oh, and I was going, whoa. Actually, I'll just pop Lady Hawk's dream up quickly, and then we'll go back to the bigger ones that got sent through.
Excellent. So Lady Hawk said in her dream she laid her head down on a railroad track and closed my eyes and waited for the train to roll over. But it stopped right beside my head because something locked onto it and stopped it. I woke up. Yikes. Yeah, yikes, all right. My gosh. Wondering what a train track means. Yeah, good point. Well,
go on. Yeah.
If I mean, were you? It's interesting. It's like you didn't seem to be too worried initially with the train coming. Is that's the feeling I'm getting? It was like, well, that's the thing when we're in our dream, we lose that sense of touch and feel, so we don't have that fear sometimes with things happening. We let them just unfold to see what the potential is for that imagery. So, I mean, I think of a train as excuse me, I don't know what it is about my throat. Every time I get on the show, it just starts. It's so strange.
You're shifting.
The train and the train track, it's going in a direction and it's a vehicle. So if you're in the train, it's different. You're on a track at this time. So you're stopping something. You're putting a block up of some sort for that train. Or it could also mean you're showing the force that you have to stop something from happening, that, in other words, you're in control of the situation. You know, it's not going to go down the way it was probably always destined to. You can change things. So, yeah, what does it say, Marie?
Yeah, in the book, it actually says the railroad tracks, you're on the track and you can't get off. Follow the self-growth path. But then the tracks, which is near train, path of growth to follow means you have to stay on this path and stick with it. See railroad tracks. So it's almost like, and the train. So if it's the engine, there's tremendous power to accomplish your goals. It was the engine, obviously, that was coming to your head. Now our head is where we have all our thoughts, and obviously it's our mental plane. So I would actually sit with this one, Lady Hawk. I would actually sit and ask it, go a little bit deeper, do some contemplating. Yeah, like you weren't worried about it. It was just supposed to be. Yeah. But just ask the question, what is it that I need to know or understand? That's what I would be doing with that. Because that dream, you're going to remember that sort of dream, even though it didn't sort of scare you at all. It's definitely something to work with, I would say. And is there something, what I'm getting intuitively, is there something going on in your head that you need to stop? Probably a little bit like what Nick said. Have you got thoughts running through your mind that you need to maybe just take a breath and let them go. So yeah.
And where are those thoughts coming from?
Yeah.
Are they coming from your heart, from a place of love, or are they coming from some patterning that you've had, an experience in your past that keeps, looping in your head that you might need to drop?
We just got a yes on that, an Ace of Wands. So check, or is it coming from fear? Is there something that you're sort of really going over that you need to just take a little side step away from? So yeah, so just sit and contemplate with that one. So
and that reminded me, actually, because I wanted to say this today and I completely forgot until then, is that a lot of people have been telling me their dreams this week. People have never dreamed. They just don't dream. Even my partner, he doesn't dream. He said, out of the blue, he said, I just remembered a dream that I had. But all the dreams that I've been told had one thing in common: the head, all to do with the head. One was to do with a dove that had its head cut off. Another one was to do with touching a baby on the head to help guide it back. And another one was to do with a new roof having to be put on top of a house, which represents to me the head and the protection part of it as well. So this head area, mind, thinking, thoughts, seems to be a bit of a patterning that's happening for us to draw our attention to at the moment.
That's really great. And so I love it when these synchronicities come together and like we can talk it through. So because remember, there is a consciousness that we're all connected to, that we're all putting out to, that we're all receiving from. So that's the ability we've got to work things out or to have things shift. We can all do it together and make it so much easier. So, but it's interesting because Nick, what you went through, looks like Dennis has gone through something similar.
4 brothers and a twin sister all died. When I went to them, they said I was the only one strong enough to do the work. Totally. Yeah. Well, you and me, Dennis.
Exactly. I know. That's huge. That's just massive, so wow.
But we are doing it with that beautiful support of all of our family, our family around us now. Not in a physical body, but far more powerful when they're not actually in a physical body here supporting us. So that's actually that's what I always get enjoyment out of, knowing that, oh my gosh, I've always got them around me,
Yeah.
And I sit at nighttime, if I'm reading under it, I've got a light that just sits above me, and every now and then I get the flickering just out of the blue, and I go, okay, who's this today?
That's so cool.
And I run through everybody to determine. And the other night, I think it was all of them,
Yeah.
They were all there together. Yeah.
Yeah. I think our lineage are really stepping up to help us. So remember, you can ask them for help as well. So, yeah. And this is the thing, when I tune into lineage, sometimes I just see it going for miles. So, and they've had so much experience as well, and they can bring it through on that etheric level. So yeah, but I like this.
Dennis is saying about the train, a strong way of traveling. They're set and have a specific direction. Yeah.
That's it. They can't really move too much, so we're the ones that have to do the shifting if we need to. So yeah. Okay, so Maple Tree's asked about, since we're on this little topic,
what's the meaning to have ancestor dreams?
I think it sort of self-explains itself, Maple Tree, to me. That, to me, it's you're tapping in to that aspect within that family that you are a part of, or that you've chosen to be a part of. So yeah, and I would talk to them. I would sit down again and take a little bit of time to contemplate or meditate and actually talk to them and ask them if there's anything specifically that they want you to do or that they would like to help you with. This happened when my sister was here. It was amazing. Something came through, and instead of it being an issue, it was actually a gift that they wanted her to tap into, this different aspect of one of her higher chakras and bring it through. So I went, and then of course I got the one where I had to do the work. And I was going, well, that sucks. But they definitely are there to help us, and the gifts and talents, they share them with us. So Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic.
Because, you know, you can have a different role, as you said, Marie. You might be there to heal something for them they couldn't do while they were here. And you don't have to really physically do anything. It's more about allowing that feeling that they might have had to let that go, to release it, to help release for them. And
Yeah,
other times it could be because they're directing you. They're here to support you, so they want to direct you in a way that gives you some idea of the direction you need to go without telling you what to do.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly. So, you know, and it's interesting, and I know that we do help other lifetimes as well. So it's not just limited to
Mm.
lineage. We also do work with other lifetimes.
Mm.
So yeah, and this is an interesting one as well because this sort of ties in with what you were saying, Nick, about your dream. So Niobe's dream, and then we'll go to Kathleen. Kathleen was fantastic. Kathleen sent me quite a few dreams. But let's go back to Niobe's. I'm just finding out. There we go.
In meditation a few times, I kept seeing this colour combination, red and white, swirl together. I didn't think much as it was just glimpses. A couple of days later, I'm scrolling online, crystal shop I frequent, and a crystal caught my eye. I've never seen before. It has this colour matrix. That night I had a dream. I am with a woman guide who is assisting me revisiting some places I have been before. Along the way, we're in a hallway or an elevator type space. I look down and I'm wearing a long white dress. I begin to smear red paint and liquid on my lips, then on my face and on other parts of my dress. It becomes soaked with this red substance. Well, that's quite an intense dream, isn't it?
It is.
The crystal is wild horse magnesite or magnetite. Never heard of it. Which
Never heard.
interestingly is a crystal that connects the crown to the root chakra. Yes.
Isn't this interesting that this is what we've been talking about as well, is this crystalline body, what's up and down, it's, and the base and the spiritual, it's all so interlinked, which is, and I've never heard of that crystal. So that sounds amazing. But the red and the white, it is. And it's almost like, remember, there can be other levels within each chakra as well. So, yeah. So what are your thoughts, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, so the red and the white. When she said that, it struck me. I actually got, for some reason, I was seeing black and red. I don't know why, and I thought maybe because it's meant to stand out. The red is the key here with this one, and like you said, it's the root chakra. It's coming through on the root there. And then you're talking about like the dress. The dress, when we wear clothes, it represents who we're playing, that role we play at that particular time. And because you're smearing it on it with sort of, you're changing how you are. You're changing you're obviously putting some attention on that area of your energy field. Could you just scroll through to the next part of that, Marie?
Sure can. Hang on a second.
There it is. The woman guide, that's what it was. She said, I'm with a woman guide who's assisting me. And then you're talking about the hallway and the elevator space. So, yeah, once again, the hallway is leading you down a path. It's guiding you to a direction. And that's what that female guide is. And because she's female, the feminine side, what does that mean? It can mean different things, but I'm presuming you don't know this person. So they've come in as someone to help direct you in a certain way. And being female, perhaps trying to get some balance back into that root chakra area could be the case. Or it could be something about your feminine side that needs to perhaps get some of that balance back. But it's interesting how you said you painted it on your lips, and then you've covered your whole body basically from, all the way through. So, and on my face and other parts of my dress.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I thought I'd pull a couple of cards on this one. So the first one up is the Knight of Cups. Now, this is someone bringing an emotional message, but it's quite stable. Like, to me, it's nothing bad, but it's just bringing you a message that something's happening or something's going to happen. But I don't know. I don't see it as a bad thing. Nine of Cups. This is I love this card. This is about your dreams and wishes and getting what you want. So, yeah, it's almost like there is going to be a change for you, but it's emotional. I feel if you've planted seeds in the past, because that Seven of Pentacles is about planting seeds and then watching them grow. It's almost like if you've only just planted them, it might take a little bit for them to come up. But if you've planted them before, then they could be coming into fruition for you. Sort of, yeah. So I'd love to know. Again, I would meditate on this dream. I would meditate on this dream. They've got our Ace of Swords, which is to me that yes. Spend a little bit more time and talk to that female guide that was with you in the dream. Ask her to come through because it's a wisdom within yourself. I would say it's that feminine wisdom. So,
and I think because I was getting that black coming through with it for some reason, I think it was because it's not something you're aware of.
The unseen.
They're trying to make you aware of it.
Yeah.
It's like this they're trying to make something conscious for you. Yeah, so definitely sit with it. And I'm sure you're going to get more messages.
We just got that again for you. So that's an absolute yes to sit with it. Yeah, beautiful. But funny how the crystals come up, and again, it's white. Like there's been a few dreams with that white in it.
Yes.
You know, that real purity and feminine.
Yeah, and the red with the snake as well.
The black and red with the snake. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
It sees the head and the root. It's like we're bringing them together again and again and again, rather than seeing that just goes in that direction and that just goes in that direction. It doesn't work that way.
I know.
I'm going to have to look up that crystal now.
I know, I will too. I'm going to have to as well. I've never heard of it. So now the next one's Kathleen's dream, and it was very long, but she was great. Okay, let me just. Okay. Where are we up to? Kathleen's dream. She was great because she did what stood out for her. So I can read the dream if you want to read that bit. But I mean, I might read the dream.
Yeah.
So that people can understand it with a bit more context. Okay.
So do you want to read first, Marie?
Oh, yeah, I will actually. So now, and I had to look up one of these words. I had to look up bleachers. Do you know what bleachers means? You do?
Yeah, American.
Yeah, it's American. I didn't know. So I looked it up. So it's it's like a bench seat or something in a field.
Baseball game or something. Yeah.
So she said, I was trying to cut through people on a crowded silver, shiny new bleachers, following a man about my age, holding his arm. I was slow because it was crowded and awkward, and he got way ahead of me. We were going from bottom left to upper right. Interesting that there's been a few that have been the opposite way today too. By the time I got to where we were sitting, but he was gone, I looked around and sat down to wait. A man behind me on the ground called my name and handed me a phone. It was the man I was following. He was in a limo and had to leave unexpectedly for business. He said, "Are you mad?" And I said, "No." He was going to send a car for me, but I decided to sit and watch. I don't know what kind of game it was. He was surprised I wasn't upset and wanted to buy me jewels as an apology, but I said no, but flowers would be okay. I hung up and thought, oh, well, it probably wasn't going to work out because he was a billionaire and I didn't trust how he got so much money. And then she woke up. So do you want to just read what stood out for Kathleen?
Yeah, I just got chills then for some reason. Shiny silver bleachers, cutting through the crowd, going to an unknown event. The man was nice and funny, a billionaire, jewels and flowers, not sure and not trusting.
That's how he got his money. The phone. Remember, the phone is always a very important cue that you're getting a message from spirit.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So
And Kathleen, did you put in any ideas of what this could have meant for you at all?
Just what stood out. So no. But it was interesting because there was a couple that was similar as well. So I think we might go on to the next one because there's actually a little bit of a theme here with Kathleen. So where are we? The other one was hang on. This one sort of had more of a This one was more connected to it than the other two. So I'll read this one. It's really long, so I'll just read it. This was a long dream, and I woke up almost sobbing. Hang on a minute. Yeah. Her daughter, son-in-law Chris, and I had gone for drinks at this music bar by the airport. Now, straight away with the airport, we're looking at spiritual dream, Kathleen. We don't drink in real life. It was connected to an arts building. We were at tall tables at the back and have taken my shoes off. Lindsay Lohan, we've got another famous one in here today. Lindsay Lohan was singing, and I walked over to our table. I whispered, "Can I take your picture?" And she whispered no, she wasn't allowed to do that per her contract. So I set my phone on the table to show her I wasn't going to. Again, another phone dream. A few minutes later, it ended, and my son-in-law grabbed everything, some bags and my phone, and took off for the car with my daughter to beat the crowd. I grabbed my black coat, and hiding under it was a white pilot's jacket, but I didn't see it at first. Grabbed my purse and started following them, but lost them in the crowd. I got pushed to the left down strange one-way escalators, and they went to the right to the parking lot. I was in part of the crowd from the airport that had doors that locked behind us. I was shoved outside and saw the parking lot to the right, about half a mile away through some weeds. I started going there, but realised I didn't have my shoes on, and also 3 teenage boys started to follow me to rob me, so I turned back and went into a small gift shop. I realised I didn't have a phone and had no way to contact my daughter. Crazy. I saw the pilot's jacket over my arm and started to look through the pockets and found a small red phone, an older phone from the early 2000s. A pilot walked up to me and said, "I believe this is mine," and I asked him if I could please borrow his phone. "I'm lost and need to call my daughter." He was okay with that. I kept getting the numbers mixed up for about 20 minutes. I looked through my wallet for one of my daughter's business cards, but remembered I'd given my last one to my grandson. I pulled out my nephew's business card from a landscaping business he had 15 years ago. I was crying by now, and the pilot said he had to leave, so handed him his phone back and left. I walked over to 4 to 5 ladies who were closing the store up and was frantic by now, because it had been about 2 hours and I knew my daughter would be worried, but they couldn't help me. I looked out the window and saw a crowd of people on the other side going down some stairs from the airport, and knocked because I saw my older brother, but a guy just laughed at me. It wasn't my brother. A lady customer handed me a phone and said, "Here's Lewis, my nephew." She had seen his card and was worried for me, so she called him. He said, "Aunt Kathy, everyone is looking for you." I asked him to call my daughter for me, but he didn't have her newer number because he was on his phone from 15 years ago. I said, "Well, call Grandpa," but I couldn't remember his new number. I was looking outside and saw this house and his dad was going to buy, and it had a turquoise garden swing out front, so I was like, "Come and pick me up. I'm by this house." He said, "I remember that house, but don't remember where it is. I was just a kid." Everyone had to leave. It was after midnight, and I woke up almost crying. So that's a huge dream. But to me, like just while I'm is coming through. So Kathleen, the fact you were going down escalators, that's often the wrong way, and the fact that you had all these things that had gone on. I've got a feeling this relates back to something that you experienced as well. From when you were a younger person. And it's almost like you haven't stopped to hear the message. And yeah, and it's a little bit like things have been fragmented since then, is just what I'm feeling. I don't know what you're getting, Nick.
Fragmented is the perfect word. And there's a huge thing about trust here.
Yeah.
The fact that you just kept, also things that everything you went to try and do was just kept falling apart for you, kept falling apart, didn't work, wasn't working. It's just these blocks all the time. But there's that, I don't know, there's something about trust that's coming through with all of this that is underlying with it all. This is one I would, if this was my dream in that amount of depth, I would be sitting with it, writing every time I got a hit on a word, I would put a meaning down of what that would be, and I would keep doing that to build it, because there's something they're trying to tell you here. You're trying to tell yourself something here, and they've done it in such a long, convoluted way, which makes me think that there's some unpacking that needs to be done.
Yeah. So, and it's interesting because Kathleen, there was 2 other dreams from Kathleen's. I'm going to leave them today. We'll bring them up another time if that's okay, Kathleen. It's just that we've run out of time. It's fantastic. You're all sending me dreams. I love it. But this is huge for you, and the fact that you remembered them, and you said you don't usually remember dreams. So it's almost like you're getting to a time in your life where it's time for you to spend some time on you. It sounds like you look after a lot, or you have a big heart and you give a lot to a lot of people. And I really feel there's some big messages in this for you. So I love, Nick, what you said about sitting down and writing down each word. Now, what does that mean for me? But it's almost like it's time. And I think Dennis said something about going from down to up as well, from right to left, or whatever, left to right, is going up into the spiritual. The airport's definitely a spiritual dream. So it's like you're not quite ready yet to maybe be on the plane and taking off. So there's just a little bit of understanding and work to do for you. Which is fine, it's great. I think it's great. Yeah, King of Swords. So this to me is a message of truth. This is really a beautiful message for you. I'll just try and get rid of that. Hang on a sec. There we go. So when that card comes up, definitely this is truth speaking. This is knowing the story. So I feel just spend a little bit of time with it. Don't get frustrated. Just sit, be relaxed, be contemplative, and get the messages that you need for yourself. It's time for you, Kathleen, to look after that beautiful Kathleen, not everyone else. So, yeah, we've got the Hierophant come up. Now, this is a very strong masculine energy that looks after or usually has control of a whole group of people, or is seen as a head person. So, I don't know if that's how you're seen, or you see yourself in your family, or you're so feminine, but I don't know, that's really interesting because we then got an Ace of Pentacles. So to me, that's something that's true in reality. So it could be time for you to really look after yourself for a change. Queen of Pentacles. Contemplate you, contemplate your life, contemplate where you're at and what is it you want from life. Because I think that's, we give so much when we have children, grandchildren. Sometimes it's time to go, do you know what? Just need to stop and look after me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that dream was definitely pulling you everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, it's almost like, when you're just running constantly, you're always chasing and trying to get things to be achieved. And in actual fact, you're missing out on what's happening right here and now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always looking to others to connect, and when you had the chance, you couldn't. It's time for you to do you. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So have faith that you are the right person to do you. Yeah, I love that, Nick. I'll sit with the words in my dreams because they are so complicated. Shoes, billionaire phones, white. There was a theme in all the dreams I had there. The weird thing that came through with this, to be honest, is that there's so much packed in, which says to me, once you work this out, it's going to release so much for you.
Massive.
This has just kept coming up. It's probably very much the same thing. It's just all tied in, and they're trying to give you everything, or you're trying to give yourself everything now to realize what it is.
Yeah, and the fact that you had guides in there, ask for help, ask for guidance as well. So, and Kathleen, of course, we'd love to see, where you get with it, even if you do it bite-sized at a time, fantastic. But let us know. It's really nice to see people sort of get the messages and start to emerge from what looks so complicated. So, which is beautiful. But wow. So there you go. Well, we're just over. We're over. Goodness me. So thank you, everyone, for sending in such amazing dreams. If I've missed any, let me know, but I'll go back through and have a look. But I know there's a couple of Kathleen's there. And Nick, thanks for doing all the homework for us and getting the future. The future
always seems to work. Yeah. Well, we hope you're feeling better, Marie, and get through what you're getting through. And also love to everybody else. It is crazy times, and I think that last dream really says a lot. Is sometimes we just have to be just concentrate on ourselves. If everybody does that, then we'll be all in a good space. But love to everybody. Thanks, Marie, again. And thanks
Yeah,
everyone
no,
for joining us.
thank you. And remember, love yourself first.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Bye, everybody.